Let me start with
Well,
Rommel. Rommel, let me start with you, and it's going to be the same question for you, Andy. So, a
Sure.
quick assessment lang muna. I won't ask what the new normal is. What's the current normal for the food industry? See, Rommel, you're involved with a number of restaurants and food chains. Andy, you operate your own restaurants as well. What's the current normal?
well, Ravi, thanks for having me on the show. No, maraming salamat for having us today. As you said, we operate a chain of restaurant called Buffalo Swings and Things, and for now, we're trying to just reopen more branches weekly. No, we have now opened 25 branches, going to 30 maybe tomorrow and until Friday. No? So we open Thursdays and
Hmm.
Fridays. So we're trying to reopen stores, and it's only delivery and carry out for now. So yun yung current normal for us. It's only delivery and carry out. And even with the mall opening, it's medyo tumaas ng konti yung carry out, but it's mostly delivery pa rin.
Hmm. Hey, Andy, very quickly, you're slightly different, different category of restaurants, but talk about your business. I mean, how is it doing now?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm in the fine dining and casual dining category. So we operate 31 restaurants, of which at the moment we have three open and 10 open by June 1. The situation
Hmm.
is very bleak. We're all experiencing an existential crisis. We really don't know. We're living day by day. It's been very difficult 2 months because, as you know, there hasn't been um, any substantial revenues coming in while the
Hmm.
obligations are continuous. So that
Hmm.
put a very hard strain on our cash position
Hmm.
for the most part. No, most players in the industry.
Hmm. Rommel, who is benefiting from, ay, people assume na, oy, deliveries, okay, at least deliveries, dire-diretso lang. But is that enough for your business, or is there a way to parse the business going through the delivery system?
Well, what's happening right now is a sudden shift, no? Like in our case, we were like 70% to 80% dine-in prior to COVID. So we're in the category of casual dining, but more on the fun casual, no, smaller footprint. But nonetheless, if you take away 80% of the business, so 70% of the business, you could just imagine the transition or the shift. No,
Hmm.
so yung business model namin altogether, we had to streamline the menu and change our P&L. No, talagang binusisi lahat ulit from food cost. But the hardest part is revenue generation. And unknown to a lot of people, especially the customers, marami part ng revenue namin goes to delivery commissions also. Because most of the deliveries, about 60 to 70% of the deliveries that we get are from the aggregators. Yung Grab Food, Food Panda, no? And they've set up the infrastructure and of course they operate it, no? But a lot, yung commission rate is very high. That's why we need to, sabi ko nga kanina, we had to adjust our whole profit and loss statement and the business model itself.
So seeing all this happening, no, I mean, I don't think there'll be much change in the coming months. Siguro going into Christmas, dahil wala pa tayong vaccine, wala pa tayong cure, and palagay ko babawalan pa rin yung dine-in, puro delivery lang. Are you expecting layoffs, downsizing, reduction in your operations in the coming months?
Shall I answer that?
Go ahead,
I
Andy.
think I think for the most part, most of my colleagues in the food industry have already been downsizing. As a matter of fact, in our company, it was like I said, it's a case of it's an existential crisis, and we really have to cut costs in order to survive. So our labor force, look, our restaurant typically has about 80 people. In my business model, we have 80 people. Without dining business, you don't need the waiters, you don't need the bar attendants, you don't need the hostesses.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what do you do, right? It's frivolous and an unnecessary burden for the entire company to
Hmm.
carry the wages of these people, if they have no role in the foreseeable future in the next 6 months. So the painful truth is that we really have been laying off people, and not only me,
Oh,
but
wow.
across the industry. And just to give you an idea of how severe the cuts are, I know of certain chains, and mine included, who have reduced their staff by more than 50%, and that's normal, huh?
Oh, wow.
50%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
pretty
Just
heavy.
mind you,
So susunod
but
sa labor, what would be the overhead that's most challenging?
uh, two factors. One is rent and one is payroll.
Yes.
Rent constitutes about 15% of gross sales, and payroll or labor costs should constitute about 20 to 23%. So labor is the biggest chunk of it.
Mm.
Right.
Of the cost of goods sold. I just want to reiterate something. I think government should really think about not disallowing the dine-in aspect of our business. Kasi in other countries they've allowed dine-in, but with the proper spacing
Proper
of
facilities.
of customers.
Mm.
Without dine-in, as Rommel said, no, 70% of our business is from dine-in sales. And if you take that away, there's no other choice but to downsize staff, and some restaurants will really not make it. The menus first the menus. Now the menus have been cut, slashed to bare bones. The reason is we have to maximize labor costs. So if we
Mm.
have 4 people in the kitchen, then our menu should be suitable, can be workable for 4 people only. Whereas
Yeah.
before we could have 7 people, 8 people, and we'd have 30 items in our menu.
I
Uh,
see.
Mm.
okay, just to give an idea, typically a restaurant with 30 items will now have 6 to 9 items. So that's
Oh, wow.
for now.
Ooh,
Just to
less
save.
than a
Yeah.
third. Wow.
And
Rommel?
if I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
just wanted to go
So,
back to the point you were asking, who will make it, in
Mm.
terms of mortality rates. Now, who will make it? I don't think it's according to category. I think the people who will make it are those with enough cash runways, because at the moment everyone is
Mm.
hemorrhaging. Those with
Mm.
enough retained earnings to take them to the next month and the next month and the next month will be the ones who will make it. Those
Which
who have,
unfortunately means the small guys will be the first to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
or they will
Rommel.
be swallowed up. They will be lucky if they get swallowed up by a
Mm.
big
Mm.
firm.
Okay.
that's why
Alright.
it's very important now for us to move from competition to collaboration. Yun yung ina-advocate namin ngayon sa industriya, for us to get together and to help the smaller players, the medium players, and all those who need help, no, whether it be mentoring, whether it be best practices, kailangan talaga mag-band together. Because if for the government to help us, kami muna dapat mag-organize, and then ang wish ko talaga makonsulta yung mga taga-industriya before policies are made.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. That's
Now
true.
I'm curious what kind of scenarios we're looking at by the end of the year for the food industry. Kasi I don't suppose you're expecting a vaccine by the end of the year. So for all you know, baka tuloy-tuloy pa itong gantong patakaran for the next 6 months. Scenario-wise, what are we looking at?
Easily 50% of restaurants will close. So we have 16,300 restaurants at the moment. We'll be lucky to be left
8,000.
with 8,000 at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
Mm.
Oh,
Rommel,
And the smaller ones,
would you
Unfortunately,
Ah.
no?
Rommel, would you
Mm,
dare to be more
unfortunately, it's
optimistic
very
than that?
Again, ang forecast ko is based on adjustment. No? Those we will adapt na tatanggapin nila na hanggang walang vaccine, it will be delivery and delivery and carry out only. Yun yung mga magso-survive no hanggang December. Bulk orders will happen, of course, with parties, no. Just have to adjust. Pagka pinaktorin mo kagad yung dine-in, no, dine-in will only happen pag meron ng vaccine. Yung totoong dine-in na it's worth doing. So I think it's about adjusting to the new normal as dictated dun sa bagong business model.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that means massive cost cutting, no, Rommel.
Mm.
So yeah, that's
Agree.
just the reality we have to face.
Oo. Naku, nawala
Okay.
yung appetite ko.
We were hoping to end on a good note kasi puro masarap kumain itong mga kasama natin dito. Pero wala
Good.
talaga.
Yeah.